Hello, I'm Matthew McShroom, and this is the third installment of my video series covering Reinhardt Kawaii Quest. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the first half of Act 2 for Aunt Baba. Something I want to mention before getting into the video, both supernatural entities represented by the sun and moon haven't been named yet. In Act 1, their names are mentioned, but they're not linked to the corresponding characters. So for the time being, I'll be referring to them as the sun entity and the moon entity. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin. Act 2 begins with a Tumblr post from Olive that reads, "Police found more corpses. 10 of them this time. One of them wasn't a corpse yet, if you know what I mean." The same forest? What is the forest called, if so? It's just a bunch of woods off the side of the highway. I don't think it has a name, but yeah, relatively the same area. Same style and everything. Some split out into a pattern, while others just left to rot and one still alive. Limbs and faces replaced with mannequin parts. What pattern? Mom didn't tell me. My friend is going out and investigating. My gosh, she's gonna get herself killed. What was the pattern they were arranged in? A semicircle pattern. A lot of what Olive described in this post seems to be paraphrasing what was described in Lily's announcement video. Who is Olive's friend? She's the post's namesake, Zoe. Going to endorphin therapy and typing surgery into the website takes us to a page with text with 000 at the top, and more text that reads, optionally invasive surgery, as well as some additional text below that just rephrases the previously mentioned crime scene. Below that is an image that appears to be a conversation between Olive and Zoe. Zoe was at the scene of the crime during this exchange. Zoe further investigates the scene as the police, who were present at the time, leave. When she gets to the semicircle of bodies, she makes an interesting observation. Each of the bodies are holding hands, and the shape that they form resembles a sun, possibly a rising one. Zoe then notices the image of a crescent moon carved on a nearby tree with the words "therapy" carved next to it. Zoe takes some time to explain how bad it smells there before getting spotted by someone she assumed to be a police officer. She seemingly is able to leave in time. Below the image of the conversation is another image, this one being of foes from Land of the Lustrous, specifically when they have Lapis Lazuli's head grafted onto their body. There are other instances of this happening in the series, about 2 involving foes getting new limbs. Below this image are 2 lines of text that both read, "Do you remember?" Based on the page's link segment being surgery, as well as one of the first lines of text being optionally invasive surgery, where else has the phrase optionally invasive been said before? The homepage of endorphin therapy. Where else has the topic of surgery occurred in this series? Lily is scheduled for a surgery by Rain. What I'm getting at is, could these murders be the surgery Rain refers to? It explains why Lily tried to escape the first time. If this is true, this means Rain, and by extension endorphin therapy, are more than likely responsible for these killings. Typing therapy into the Rise of the Moon website takes us to an image of a person with their eyes censored with the word moon. They also have a crescent behind their head, resembling a pair of horns. Below this image is text from one of Rain's patients regarding angels. "I could fly instead of touch or walk. I could be above all and not look like I am above all. I am never above all. Angels, however, are always above all, but they all look the same. I wish to trade in my arms so I can touch and hug no more. Touch is how attachment is formed. I am a parasite. I get attached too easily to anyone I am in contact with or I can touch. I wish to trade in my legs. I am never out in society, so they are meaningless to have. A waste of good bones, really. They are all ugly and bruised and covered in the earth's dust anyway. I will trade every limb and every joint to have wings. I will trade it all to be a beautiful angel." Therapy's going good. Who is this person in the image? We don't know who they are yet, but we do know that they are in some way associated with the moon and possibly the entity represented by it. Prokaryote is an unlisted video found on Lily's channel. The video begins with audio labeled to be from Alexandria Zygmunt, Alexandria being one of the patients listed in episode 4 of Reinhardt Kawaii Quest. The audio itself is very difficult to understand due to the audio being bit crushed. From what I could gather, Alexandria spoke with Lily at some point about something. Before we can learn about what was said, the microphone dies. We then hear an unknown voice say, "Open your eyes," with footage of an eye from an unknown anime playing in the background. The unknown speaker tells whoever is listening to do something, but before we learn what exactly that is, the audio distorts drastically as footage of the moon appears on screen. The video then cuts to footage of someone running at nighttime with a voice saying. The footage then cuts to an entity wearing a suit, with a flame in the place of their head, and a crescent above it. The video ends with the voice saying, "Stop. Talk to me," as it cuts to black. What can be concluded from this video? From what I can gather, the moon entity is attempting to prevent whoever is speaking from getting their message across, the audio becoming distorted the moment the moon is shown, the moon acting as this entity's calling card. Who is the entity shown at the end of the video? It's the moon entity, just in a different form. Although it hasn't been outright stated yet, the moon entity is capable of shapeshifting. Who is the mysterious voice addressing this to? We don't really know. It could be Alexandria, but there's no evidence aside from the message playing right after the recording. The video begins with an illustration of rain sliding into an illustration of a booth. The screen cuts to black as Bit Crush audio plays that seems to be one half of a conversation. Based on their voice, we can infer this is Alexandria, possibly talking to Lily like what was mentioned in Prokaryote. Eventually, the conversation, as well as the video, ends. Olive's Inferno begins with footage of someone in their room before a Tumblr post from Olive appears on screen. Lorelai called me. They like the gifts. We scheduled the date on Saturday. I'm excited. How'd your date tonight go? It went really well, actually. I had to prepare and dress all nice because I want to be presentable and not my neat core self. Went on a date. We went to a cafe nearby and it started snowing. It was really nice. Based on this, we can infer this takes place after what was shown in Season 1, Episode 7. The video then proceeds to switch back and forth between the person in the room, we can now see they're on their phone, and more of Olive's Tumblr posts. Parents are fighting again. Dad came home from work, smelling like perfume. Lorelai and I talked about moving in together today, actually. We've only known each other for a little bit, but it feels like the only way to get out of this hellhole. Ha! Every day for my parents, it's constant yelling and fighting, so I don't know, I might go for it. Lorelai also talked to me about the surgery that endorphin therapy is offering. Apparently Lily signed up for it? She says she's thinking of getting it as well. I don't know, though. I still don't trust it very much. Therapy program pops up out of nowhere with a ton of amazing reviews and top-tier service. It just seems so sketchy. Even the website is sketchy. It's made using a free web host. They didn't even pay for a custom domain. Plus, none of the pages go into any detail at all about any of the services they provide, especially not the surgery. It's also weird. But it's been working, I guess. Quality of life has increased since I signed up. Plus, I met Lorelai and Lily, so I'm spending the night at Lorelai's house tonight. Wish me luck. First time I've slept at someone's house since I was like 10. It's a chance to get away from my hectic home life. I hate my parents always yelling and crap. 24/7. If only my mom wasn't petty and my dad wasn't a doormat. Lorelai's eyes are so pretty. We're cuddling and watching anime. My last will and testament. If I end up dying in the woods tonight, do not let two white women make a podcast about me. Amen. Zoe wants to drag me out to the creepy murder woods tonight. Like I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna complain the whole time. We decided to go out to the woods today because my neck was in a lot of pain last night. Neck's okay now, it's just weird and itchy. We're packing up to go to the woods now. Again, if I die, do not let two white women make a podcast on me, please. On the road now. Glad Zoe can drive because, I can't. Lol. We've arrived at the function. Creepy murder woods. Anything out of the ordinary at first sight? No, not yet. Same depressions in the dirt and dead grass as last time. Zoe said... Speaking of Zoe, she brought weapons. She has a baseball bat full of nails. She said a friend gave it to her. She gave me a hunting knife. Honestly never thought about Zoe handling weapons. Doesn't seem like the type of girl who would. Okay. So we found the tree again, but it looks like the carving was, torn out. There's a huge chunk just ripped out of the tree. Someone couldn't have done this with their bare hands. Lol. Doubt they could have with an axe. Too messy to be an axe. Can you look for the tree with the moon therapy thing written on it? Yeah, give me a sec, I'll ask. Where's the smell coming from? Deeper into the woods. There's like a trail of dead grass, and it's coming from that direction. Zoe wants to go check it out, but I don't know if we should. My gosh, something smells rancid. Oh gosh, the smell gets worse the further down the path we go. I mean, Zoe can check it out and you check something else out? Unless you want to stay together, then I'd say go check it out. We're gonna stay together no matter what, because obviously Zoe wants to go check it out, so I guess we're going to. Well, I hope Zoe is okay. Yeah, me too. Hang on, I see something. Be right back. See anything? Not yet. Zoe seems nervous, though. There's a plastic bag full of something hanging from a tree. I think I know what the something is, and it's dripping and stinks. Puked everywhere, oh my gosh. Zoe's yelling we need to get out of here. We can't find the car! Lorelei's here. Zoe and I were running and the road was right next to us the whole time. Lorelei's here. Everything's so quiet after Lorelei's car horn beeped at us. I feel so stupid. I can't believe he has to see me like this. What's Lorelei doing down there? She said she was reading my blog and got worried, so she came to check on us. Zoe's acting really weird about Lorelei being here. I'm so exhausted. Lorelei's driving us back to her place. She said she'll bring Zoe back to get her car tomorrow. Zoe keeps whispering something over and over again, and I can't make it out. Why is Zoe off by Lorelei? I don't know. It sounds like she's saying she's sorry about something? I don't know. Maybe move closer to Zoe to hear her? I'm in the passenger seat, so I just have to try and listen harder, but I don't know, she's so quiet. I'm sorry for something. I'm sorry for looking at something? What could she have saw? I'm not sure, but she only started saying it when she saw Lorelei. Can you focus her to figure out what that something is? Something about looking at something, I don't know. We stopped at a gas station and Lorelei got out to use the bathroom. Zoe's shaking. I heard what she was saying. I'm sorry for looking into your eyes without permission. The video then fades to an illustration of someone, possibly Lorelei, before it cuts to a black background with a link segment on screen. Typing what we saw at the end of the video into endorphin therapy takes us to a severely altered version of the website's main page. The background is covered in eyes, and almost all visible text is replaced with the phrase, "I'm sorry for looking into your eyes without permission." In the center of the website is an image of an upside-down face with text below that says, "Say sorry." On further inspection, the image is of Lorelei, based on the image's PNG name. So apparently, Zoe made eye contact with Lorelei, and Lorelei didn't like this. Clicking on the word eyes in the apology box takes us to a new website. The page we're taken to is from a website called Catacombus. The page itself is an informational page regarding a group of entities called Dromen. Dromen are the result of humans, or human-like beings, having prolonged contact with something called impurity. This impurity is seemingly what transforms someone into a Dromen. Dromen can be hostile, but they aren't naturally prone to malice. The reason for their hostility usually being their need to feed themselves to survive. What do Dromen feed on? Emotion. The emotion itself depends on the Dromen. As the Dromen feeds, they radiate a sickness to anyone within a certain radius. The sickness varies on the Dromen in question. The sickness can also be obtained via coming into contact with Dromen blood, which is black, oily tasting, and can intoxicate whoever ingests it. Dromen are viewed by most mortals as holy beings, usually angels. The Dromen use this to their advantage, posing as mythological figures as to infiltrate cultures. Dromen are known to take in humans or human-like beings to work for them, these workers being called Nemaru. The process of becoming one depends on the Dromen. Dromen are capable of dreamwalking, teleportation, shapeshifting, technopathy, the ability to control technology, telekinesis, telepathy, mind control, and temporal and spatial manipulation. The most common type of Dromen is the Ghoul Dromen. Ghoul Dromen have no intelligence, personality, or emotions. They behave in an animalistic manner, have very few Nemaru. The disease they radiate is similar to radiation poisoning. They have no domain and are found in wooded or secluded areas. They also have the basic Dromen abilities. The second most common type of Dromen are the traditional Dromen. Traditional Dromen resemble how they looked pre-Dromenification, but can transform into a more monstrous form at will. Also, they can shapeshift, so both forms are subjective. They're intelligent and have both personality and emotion. They have many Nemaru. They have domains that can be accessed by humans. They have basic Dromen abilities and sometimes more. Humans who become Dromen are 90% traditional Dromen. The third most common type of Dromen are Cryptid Dromen. Cryptid Dromen only have one form, which is monstrous, probably meaning they can't shapeshift. Each Cryptid Dromen's appearance is unique. They are intelligent and have both personality and emotion. They sometimes have Nemaru, but not always. The disease they radiate is personalized to the Dromen, Sometimes they have domains, and if they do, humans can access them, especially if the domains are large. They have basic Droman abilities and sometimes more. There are also a variety of subclasses for Droman. There are morphogenic Droman, known for transforming their Nemaru, which they have a lot of. These Nemaru reside within the realm of their specific Droman. There are Oracle Droman, known for appearing before tragedy and warning of it. They can appear in both the physical world and in dreams to foretell said tragedy. There are Nomadic Droman, Droman that don't have a domain. Queen Droman, which are known for always using Nemaru to carry out their work. Stalker Droman, which have no Nemaru and are known for hunting their victims by themselves. And finally, Impure Droman, which are rare, able to manipulate impurity in large amounts, are created when a Droman is fully irradiated by impurity, and are believed to be the final evolution of Droman. After learning all there is to know about Droman, we head to the website's main page. The website's main page consists of Catacombus' motivation, their main goal being to hyper-evolve humanity into higher beings by whatever means necessary, i.e. genetic modification, alchemy, or surgery. Utilizing technology from one of their scientists, Memphis Norwin, Catacombus has discovered secrets of reality that the higher powers that be would prefer hidden from humanity to prevent them from getting usurped by humanity. Apparently, Catacombus, as of 2021, with the help of something called Project RIG, have successfully done so. In the paragraph under the heading How Can Catacombus Help?, it reveals that something called the first veil of reality has been disturbed due to the actions of an entity referred to as Abaddon, causing areas to be irradiated with impurity, and creating Droman in the process. This might result in unfortunate things occurring to people in general, so Catacombus has decided to, quote-unquote, help by making their research public. Anemoia Solutions is a forum dedicated to people who have issues with memory and their experiences with said issues, the forum being assumedly founded by someone referred to as Andrew Anemoia. The forums themselves consist of people discussing hallucinations, deja vu, strange dreams, anemoia, etc. Users of this forum that are of note include ZBearZ, Gecko Amethyst, and Lynn317, who will be important later. Although the forum seems relatively normal, aside from Lynn occasionally saying something bizarre or cryptic, one post in particular caught my attention. On June 16, 2017, ZBearZ makes a post saying they're new to the forum, despite being a member as far back as 2014. This could be ruled out as ZBearZ getting amnesia. After all, this is a website dedicated to memory-related phenomena. But ZBearZ could just go back a couple pages back and realize that they were here before, yet they don't. Another thing I'd like to add is, in the post shown on screen, it shows that ZBearZ is confirmed to be Zoe. Not only that, it confirms the location all of these things might be taking place in, and that is Sparks, Nevada. When exploring Anemoia Solutions, at the bottom of the website there are two ads, the ads themselves varying depending on what part of the website they're on. One advertisement of note can be found in the sign-up section of the website, which can no longer be used. An ad for anime chatbots. Clicking on the ad takes us to a white background with blue text at the top that reads Dirge Technologies, and is said to be founded in 2011. The text below gives us information on this project. You ever feel lonely? With the rise of cases of solasomnia, many people are without friends and family. If you are one of the many affected by this, you may experience loneliness. So sorry. With our technology, you can create your own AI buddy to keep you company. Download our app on Android and iOS devices. App's coming soon. Under the text are two images of people, and underneath these images is more text that reads, "A machine can never experience a human connection, can she?" Clicking on the person to the left takes us to a different website. The page we're taken to is a black background with an image of someone we know to be Alexandria, due to the tab name being Memo from 014, 014 being Alexandria's number of association. Text appears above the image. Every time it repeats, it resets. People have supposedly false memories, Mandela effects. People on forums looking for lost media that rains other experiments created. I wonder if those outside would be envious of us. I wonder if any of us are envious of them. One more. Just one more. After all text is finished, the website redirects us to endorphin therapy. We're directed to an image of someone we can assume to be Lorelei and a poem below it. The page consists of two things. the image of an angel, and text above that says, "How to identify if you have solosomnia." Clicking on the image will refresh the page and further distort the image. After a number of clicks, we're directed back to the main page. Something to pay attention to: each time the page is refreshed, the search tab spells out the phrase, "Earth is rotting." Looks like my time is once again up. In the next video, I'll be talking about